heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, a little before dark this evening. 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Wednesday that now has us inside of 72 hours until the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I went down to the Miller Electric Center earlier today to catch up with the Jaguars inside the Jaguar locker room. Passed by RV City. Looks like it was up and rocking on a Wednesday, so we'll certainly spend some time on Florida and Georgia tonight. Again, less than 72 hours away from kickoff. We will certainly talk about the coaching carousel that is to come in the world of college football. In fact, more on that in just a moment, as some pretty interesting developments have happened in the state of Louisiana in the last 90 minutes or so. And as I mentioned, I was down at the Miller Electric Center inside the Jaguar locker room as the Jaguars are still preparing for the Las Vegas Raiders Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. I had one-on-one conversations earlier today with defensive back Jordan Lewis and defensive lineman DeJuan Smoot and Devon Hamilton, and you will hear those conversations coming up in just a bit here on Hacker After Dark. I also have some observations, some feelings after being in the Jaguar locker room earlier today that I will share with you coming up in a matter of moments. Guest lineup tonight, we mentioned the 3 Jaguar player interviews out of the locker room. Also, former Jacksonville Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy. You get him every day on prime time. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark as we'll preview Jacksonville and Las Vegas. And Bill Bender, national college football writer for the Sporting News. He will join us later on in the 7 o'clock hour. We're glad you're with us on a Wednesday here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So I was going to begin the big deal of the night with my thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders, and we will get to those momentarily. But that changed in the last 90 minutes when the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, decided to go to the podium and hold a press conference and was asked about the job opening at Louisiana State University. Now, in the world we live in of artificial intelligence, better known as AI, you see a lot of things on social media that aren't true. They aren't real. They are AI videos. And from time to time, you can confuse an AI video for the real thing. And I actually thought for the first 15, 20 seconds of this video that it was AI until it became very apparent that nope, this was not AI. This was the governor of the state of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, within the last 90 minutes or so out there in Louisiana, talking about the LSU job opening. And we're going to play some of that for you right now. Again, one of the 50 governors in the United States of America, Jeff Landry, had this to say moments ago about the job opening at LSU.
No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent.
Well, those are the thoughts of Jeff Landry the governor of Louisiana, so he obliterates LSU AD Scott Woodward, said absolutely not. Woodward will not be making the hiring. But I think more interesting than that for Gator fan that's interested in Lane Kiffin and wondering if there's going to be a Florida LSU battle for Lane Kiffin, and there still may be. The interesting part of that is towards the end where the governor of Louisiana starts going in a little bit on Jimmy Sexton, right? Isn't that what it sounded like? The agent for Lane Kiffin and the agent for a lot of coaches out there. Boy, look, political figures, I get it, you know, that you want to appease your state and appease the fan base of the, you know, the primary school in that state, but whoa. Whether you believe Jeff Landry or not, that Scott Woodward has done a terrible job and that agents are being ridiculous and taking over the game, I mean, look, that all might be true, right? That all might be true. But to go public like that, in that setting, and for it to blow up like it has in the last 2 hours, and to go scorched earth on the LSU AD, and to essentially call out agents in college football, which, again, Jimmy Sexton is going to have quite the role in where Lane Kiffin ultimately ends up, one would think. At least he will have a role in it, right? Man, interesting stuff. So we'll talk more about that, but how about Jeff Landry? Denmark, you heard that for the first time about 10 minutes ago. Your reaction was pretty good. What is Jeff Landry doing?
Oh, I have no idea, but it's hilarious. It tops. Remember the whatever that was out in Kansas City when they was saying that it's Cincinnati. He was saying that they're Kansas City's daddy. This tops that guy.
Yeah, right. The mayor of Cincinnati, right? Yes, and the mayor of Cincinnati gave Kansas City all sorts of bulletin board material. Interesting. I would imagine that Jeff Landry probably will want those comments back. When you throw in there, I would let Donald Trump make the hire before I let Scott.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Before I let Scott Woodward make the hire. All right. Well, interesting. So there you have it. Crazy stuff from the governor of Louisiana. All right, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And again, I was inside the Jaguar locker room earlier today. I went one-on-one with Jordan Lewis, Devon Hamilton, and DeJuan Smoot. And you will hear those conversations in just a moment here on Hacker After Dark. You know, in the locker room today, I actually didn't know what to expect. Here's a team that was 4-1 and was one of the talks of the NFL world. And then you lose to Seattle and you get embarrassed by the Rams. Then you've had a bye week. You haven't won a football game since, October the 6th, right? 23 days since the last time the Jaguars won a football game. I honestly didn't know what to expect going in there. Pretty laid-back locker room, honestly. A lot of joking around, a lot of, playful antics from players. You would never know that they had lost 2 games in a row. And then I got to thinking about this. All right. You, me, I shouldn't say all of you, a majority of you have been in Jacksonville for at least a few years, if not considerably longer. I'm 42 years old today. I've been in Jacksonville for over 3 decades. This is my home. This is what I know. And what I know is frustration and being let down by this franchise over and over and over, which I imagine is what a majority of you know about the Jacksonville Jaguars, because that's what happens when you support or cover a losing franchise year after year after year after year. So when you see a 2-game losing streak happen, guys like me and most people like you that are listening think, oh my gosh, here we go again. We've seen this song and dance before. We know what's about to happen. It's the same old, another year, another missed opportunity, yada, yada, yada. That's what we think. But then I got to thinking about the guys in that locker room. You know, Jordan Lewis, De'Ami Brown, Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCarry, Travis Hunter, Bashel Tutin, Chuma Edoga, Jonah Monheim. You want me to keep going, right? On and on and on. All those guys have been in Jacksonville for less than, 7 months? Even the guys that were here last year. Jaguars weren't any good last year. They couldn't collapse because they weren't any good. Brian Thomas Jr., guys like that, I mean, they started out 0-4. There was never time to collapse. There was never time to say, here we go again, because they never got off the mat in the first place. And then you got Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and a majority of a new coaching staff, right? They've been in Jacksonville less than 7 months. They don't know, at least they haven't lived through, well, here we go again. Same old Jaguars, right? We all think we're going down the same path because it's all we know for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Majority of guys in that locker room, they don't know that. They don't have any idea what it's been like to follow this team, which I think is a good thing. They don't have any residue of the past. They're looking forward. And that was the message today. You'll hear from Jordan Lewis. You'll hear from Dewan Smoot. Even a guy like Devon Hamilton, who has been here for a handful of years now. Same thing. You know, when the Jaguars were stuck in reverse, we knew that Urban Meyer wasn't going to get us out of that. It became fairly apparent that Doug Marrone wasn't going to get us out of that, and it became really apparent towards the end of 23 and basically the entirety of 24 that Doug Peterson wasn't going to get us out of that. Do we know that Liam Cohen and this staff are not going to get us out of this rut and correct these things and have us back on the winning track on Sunday? No, we don't know that. I think a lot of people anticipate that, but I can tell you who doesn't are the players in that locker room. Again, I don't know if this will mean a hill of beans come Sunday, but I can tell you from being down there a matter of hours ago, you would never know that this team is coming off a 2-game losing streak and the thought in this city is here we go again. You would never know that. They are focused on the Raiders. They are focused on the task at hand, and they are looking forward. Everything is in front of them, which is true. Will we see something different here for a change? And the Jaguars actually respond to a losing streak? Talk to me on Sunday night after the 5th quarter. I'm still going to pick Las Vegas to win. I'm not going to change that. I've picked them all week. I will continue with that. But I will say that I was pleasantly surprised with the vibe down there at the Miller Electric Center earlier today. Because I've seen this team get in quicksand for the last 5-6 years, and they could never get out of it. I don't know if they're going to get out of it this year, but I like what I heard, and I like what I saw today down at the Miller Electric Center. We'll see. You'll hear from defensive back Jordan Lewis and defensive lineman Devon Hamilton and Dewan Smoot. I went one-on-one with all 3 Jaguars in the locker room earlier today, and those conversations are next on a Wednesday evening here in Jacksonville, Florida. Hacker After Dark, in for Blue, right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
It's the secret sauce of a successful football team.
This is a special group of men.
Each week, Superior Plumbing spotlights the special teams player of the game.
It was complete domination in all 3 phases.
That's how you win football games.
On 1010XL.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Mikhail Petrie, a senior football and soccer player at Stanton College Prep. Mikhail is a member of the National Honor Society. He is also an AP Scholar with distinction.
This football season, make Hurricane Grill and Wings your game day getaway. Sip on handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita or enjoy an ice-cold Bud Light. Game day drink specials are here all season. Find a location near you at hurricanewings.com.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. We're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, septic tank pump outs, drain field installations, and full air conditioning service, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Rick Ballou here with the congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us till 8 o'clock. 1010XL, 92.5 FM, 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The Jaguars and the Raiders, both teams coming off a bye. The Jaguars 4-3 on the year. The Raiders sit at 2-5. Interesting, too, this is the final game before the trade deadline. There's been a lot of talk with Las Vegas about Jacoby Myers, potentially Max Crosby, although I don't see that happening. A lot of conversation about the Raiders maybe having a fire sale. This game Sunday might determine if they're going to do that or not. Jacksonville, too. Look, if Jacksonville wins, gets to 5-3, maybe they will be buyers at the trade deadline. If Jacksonville loses to fall to 4-4, I don't know. We'll see. But certainly one way or the other, Sunday is going to tell us a lot about the direction of this Jaguar football team moving forward. I was in the locker room earlier today, down at the Miller Electric Center, caught up with a number of guys, and first and foremost, defensive back Jordan Lewis. Great offseason acquisition, no doubt about that. The team has struggled, though, the last 2 weeks in losses to Seattle and the Rams. Jordan Lewis, in a very short amount of time, has become a team leader on this football team. Here is my conversation from earlier this afternoon with Jaguar DB Jordan Lewis. All right, back here on 1010XL, down in the Jaguar locker room. Jaguars getting ready for the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. We got Jaguar defensive back Jordan Lewis with us here on 1010XL. Jordan, at practice, go out there today?
It went well. The energy was high. We feel like we were really detailed. Just gotta make sure that we just keep this week going like that. Making sure that we on the same page, defensively especially, and making sure that we know what we're doing and how we want to attack this offense. But I mean, the energy was good today, and I feel like it was a good practice.
Back off the bye week, how good was it to get back out there on the practice field, get ready to get back out there on Sunday?
Yeah, man, we re-energized, man. You could tell the excitement. Guys wanted to get back out on the field and go out there and compete. So it felt really good. Guys went out there and gave it their all, man. We were running and gunning. It felt really good. Everybody was energetic, just passing that along, from the front end, from the back end, just making sure that we were all engaged, and it felt really good.
Even though year number one for you here in Jacksonville, clearly you're one of the leaders in this locker room. How important is it for guys like you to convey to the young guys, all right, don't let Seattle and LA snowball into something more?
Yeah, honestly, just telling the guys it's about our process. It's not about, the last play that we had. It's about, the next play and, just being in the moment, understanding how we want to attack offenses, especially on defense, play by play, honestly. So it's just how we go about our business at each and every snap is what I'm just holding on and trying to get guys to understand is, that takes a lot of mental fortitude to just forget about the last play and go on to the next this play and think about the moment.
I know Liam Cohen was on video talking about this on the team website, but everything is right in front of this team. I mean, that's not just hyperbole. That's reality. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like I said, man, we just got to worry about our process, and the results are what the results are. And I feel like it's going to be really good for us because we got the right people in here. We really talented team, and I think we care for each other and we want to play for each other. So all of those things combined with, what we have schematically, I think we can be a really good team if we think about the moment.
Final moments with Jordan Lewis back on the West Coast. We're successful out in San Francisco a few weeks back, heading back out to Las Vegas. What's been your thought on the Raiders early this week?
We just got to get on them, man. We know that they want to be a physical bunch. We know they want to run the ball. So we just got to get them one-dimensional, and even that's hard because they got some guys on the outside that make plays. Trey Tucker, he's a very fast guy. Bowers, he can get it done whenever. And Jacoby Myers, he's been good for a while. So just making sure that we stay on top of those guys, try to make them one-dimensional and, try to fight like that, I think we'd be pretty good.
Final question. Williams made a big deal about this week, is the quick start, not falling behind like you did in the first two games. How vital is the first quarter and a half on Sunday?
Yeah, like I said, it's about being in the moment. Every play matters, man. We got to think about it like that, not thinking about what can come, just thinking about what our keys are and what our progressions are on that one play. So if we can think like that, like we've been doing in the beginning of the season, I think we'd be really good.
Jordan, appreciate it. Best of luck on Sunday.
Appreciate you.
There you go, Jordan Lewis with us here on Hacker After Dark. And yeah, look, I mean, you have to move on, right? As a player, you can't dwell on 35-7. We have the luxury on 1010XL, and you as a Jaguar fan, well, we can stew about it and get upset and angry and yell into this microphone and, complain to our buddies at various watering holes around town about, cannot believe that. Well, they don't have that luxury. They got to move on. And the scary thing to me is the Raiders are 2-5. I mean, I totally understand that. The best game the Raiders played this year, and it's not even close, was opening day against New England, where they beat the Patriots. It's only one of two Patriot losses. And Brock Bowers, that was the one game he was healthy for at least a majority of it. He actually got hurt in the third quarter. He tore the Patriots apart in the first 2.5 quarters in that game. And then he got hurt, and then he tried to play and battle through for the next couple of games. They finally shut him down. He's telling people out in Las Vegas he's 100% ready to go now. We'll see after the bye. But if Bowers is 100%, that does change the dynamic of this Raider football team. So I just want people to be cautious. Don't look at the 2-5 record. I mean, I'm not saying they're Kansas City, and I'm not saying they're as good as Seattle or the Rams or any of these teams the Jaguars have played, but I don't think they're necessarily as bad as a 2-5 record would indicate. They certainly have some dudes over there, particularly if Brock Bowers is healthy. Let's go to the Jaguar D-line now. I had the opportunity to catch up with Devon Hamilton. You'll hear from him in one moment. Also caught up with DeJuan Smoot, a veteran in this locker room like Jordan Lewis. What's his message to the young guys? I think you'll enjoy that answer. Here's my conversation inside the Jaguar locker room with defensive lineman DeJuan Smoot. Inside the Jaguar locker room, Jaguars getting ready for the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. We got DeJuan Smoot, defensive lineman of the Jaguars, with us here on 1010XL. DeJuan, how'd practice go out there today?
It went really well. We had a week to rest our bodies and to kind of get back, into the groove of it all. I feel like it was definitely needed, and we're coming back stronger. Today was a really good practice, and we was able to hit a little bit as well, too. So the intensity was definitely ramped up today.
As a veteran on this football team, what's kind of your message to the younger guys after a 2-game losing streak going into the bye?
Don't let it roll on to 3, 4, 5. I mean, we just got to, kind of go back to the basics at the end of the day, kind of go back to what we were able to do in the beginning of the season, go back to camp, and just kind of focus on the little things, doing the little things right, paying attention to what you can do individually to be able to help the team win. So.
When it's important to realize that too, right? I mean, 4-3, you're still in a very good position moving forward, and that's certainly the message you guys are getting, right? Everything's right in front of you.
Yes, definitely everything's right in front of us, and we're in control of our destiny completely. Whatever we do moving forward, it's it's in our control for sure.
You're doing a wonderful job in this interview. I certainly appreciate it. Devon Hamilton here with us as well. Now, I talked to Devon about this earlier. West Coast trip, obviously, second time for you guys. You got the victory out in San Francisco. How challenging will it be to go back out there?
Not challenging at all. I mean, we're used to traveling everywhere at this point, traveling to London, traveling to the West Coast now twice. And I feel like we have a pretty good formula. What we were able to do last time we went out to the West Coast, we're definitely trying to repeat that for sure.
Raiders were a lot like the Jaguars. Got a lot of new players, new coaching staff. What have you seen from them on film?
They're going to try to run the ball. I mean, they have a really talented running back. And at their O-line, they try to move you off the ball. They try to play a physical game. So, I mean, we just have to meet that physicality, focus on stopping the run, and, get them and drop back pass opportunities.
As we begin to wrap up, one of the big talking points outside this locker room is how does this defense affect the opposing quarterback? Obviously, you guys are trying to figure out how to do that. How important is that to do moving forward?
I mean, it's huge in general. That's in every game. You have to affect the quarterback, especially with Geno as well too. We have to definitely get in his face, hit him early. He gets frustrated when you hit him a lot. So that's the goal. I mean, we're trying to put him in drop back situations and be able to get a bunch of hits on him. So that's definitely the goal.
DeJuan, appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you.
There you go. To take you inside the locker room a little bit, we're about to talk with Devon Hamilton. I talk about the upbeat atmosphere in there. Devon Hamilton was basically lurking over Smoot that entire interview. Hamilton and Smoot's lockers are right next to one another, and he was just messing around with him, seeing if Smoot could do the interview while he was literally standing about a foot away. But again, I like that. I mean, you would never have known, being in that locker room, what's being said by the outside. I mean, obviously, the national narrative is that the Jaguars were overrated, right? We've all seen that. But it was a laid-back atmosphere, a team that was focused, yet still willing to have a little bit of fun. Did not seem like there was, oh, this is going down ship. Woe is me. We've lost 2 in a row. Finally, Devon Hamilton. I mentioned him earlier. Devon's always great with his time. Certainly appreciate him always joining us here on Hacker After Dark. And I did have the opportunity to talk with Devon Hamilton earlier in the Jaguar locker room. All right, inside the Jaguar locker room, Jaguars getting ready for the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday. We got Jaguar defensive lineman Devon Hamilton with us here on 1010XL. Devon, how'd practice go out there today?
I think it was a very good practice. It was definitely a solid practice from coming off the bye, and everybody's feeling a little bit fresher, a little bit ready to finish the season and ready to do what we need to do in order to be successful. So it was a good practice for us.
Everybody talks about the bye week. How much needed was the bye week for this team coming off those last 2 games?
I think it was a good reset for us, especially knowing what our last game results and kind of wasn't what we wanted. And, I feel like a lot of guys were a little beat up maybe and kind of just mentally reset as well after that. So I think it was really good for us.
You look going forward. I know Liam Cohen has been preaching this to you guys. Everything's right in front of you. 4-3. It was a good reset. What is your thought about the second half of the season that begins Sunday in Las Vegas?
I think in order for us to be successful, you just got to focus in on our jobs and just play the brand of football that we know how to play. I think that we can easily do what we need to do, easily end the way we want to end. It just takes that focus and locked in mentality, really.
Already won a game on the West Coast earlier this year, heading back out there. Maybe not as far west, but still in the Pacific time zone. What is the thought on the Raiders here early in the week?
I think they're just as good as a team as anybody else. I think that we really need to lock in. Again, it all really starts with focus with us, but I mean, they're a talented team. I mean, record or not, they're still in the NFL. We still can't take that for granted, and I think there's going to be a really good game for us.
As we begin to wrap up with Devon Hamilton, defensively, you guys stopping the run, still did a pretty good job of that during the 2-game losing streak. What have you seen on film as far as the passing game affecting the opposing quarterback? How do you intend to try to get that done on Sunday?
I really feel like you just need to play more aggressively up front a little bit more and take that more accountability on us up front. And after that, I think that's really all we need to do.
Devon, appreciate your time. Best of luck. Awesome, buddy. Thank you. There you go. Devon Hamilton, DeJuan Smoot, and Jordan Lewis all joining us inside the Jaguar locker room. Certainly thank those guys for taking time out for us here on Hacker After Dark. Those are 3 current Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's now talk to a former Jacksonville Jaguar, my buddy Leon Searcy. It's kind of a cool deal. So in the Miller Electric Center, I was going to take a picture and send it to Leon. In the Miller Electric Center, they always have these screens outside the locker room that show highlights of games of the past between the Jaguars and whichever team they're playing that given week. So this week, it's obviously highlights of Jaguar-Raider games of the past. You saw Fred Taylor, I believe it was. Oh, no, it was Natron Means. You saw Natron Means busting off a long run against then the Oakland Raiders, and Big Leon was paving the way for him there. So I got to tell Leon that his video or his picture is bright and huge right there in the Miller Electric Center this week. So we'll talk to Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on Prime Time. You get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark, and you also get him Sunday with myself and the coach Gerald Ingram on the fifth quarter. Let's talk Jaguars Raiders. Let's talk the 4-3 start, the reset after the bye, and all points in between. Leon Searcy joins us next on a Wednesday night here in Northeast Florida. We're with you till 8 o'clock, Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us as we roll on a Wednesday. It's Hacker After Dark.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I know two brothers whose minds are always in the gutters.
Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Kevin.
We are the Good Brothers.
That's good with an E.
From Good Brothers Roofs and Gutters.
We install 6 and 7-inch seamless gutters, plus we repair and replace roofs, pool enclosures, and super gutters.
We are the Good Brothers, veteran-owned and local.
Visit goodbrothersroofsandgutters.com.
License number CCC 1334384.
Good Brothers Roofs and Gutters.
Tired of plumbers trying to sell you instead of help you? At Superior Plumbing and Pipeline, we do things differently. We hire real plumbers, not salesmen, and we never pay commission. That means no upselling, no pressure, and no unnecessary repairs. Just honest, expert work at a fair price. So the next time you need a plumber you can trust, make the superior choice and call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, where quality comes first and honesty is standard. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. No commissions, just solutions. Learn more at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
Attention sports fans! Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the big games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Bet anywhere, win here, only at Best Bet. Visit BestBetJacks.com to learn more. That's BestBetJacks.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. The law firm of Farah and Farah and Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Go Gators! 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Raiders, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. 2 hours after the Jaguars and Raiders go final, you will have the fifth quarter with the coach, Gerald Ingram, the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy, and myself. And let's preview the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's talk about the Jaguars as they begin the second half of their season with the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy. You get him every day on XL Primetime, and we're lucky enough to have him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, how are you, bud?
I'm good, bro.
All right, bye week in the rearview mirror. Certainly some soul-searching was done after back-to-back losses, including that embarrassing loss in London. Leon, in your opinion, where do you think this Jaguar football team is now coming into the second half of the season?
Well, I mean, listen, Hager, vacation time is over. It's back to the business of ball now, you know. This team's got to get back to the basics, fundamentals, eliminate the stupid penalties, the mental errors. I mean, you know, they need to get back to the fire that they had in the first 5 weeks. I mean, because like I can't unsee what I saw the last 2 weeks. They played pitiful the last 2 weeks. But I can also reflect on the fact that they were one of the better teams the first 5 weeks. And whatever they did, whatever mindset they had, whatever tempo they had in practice and meeting rooms, weight rooms, they need to get back to that. Because if you can go 4-1 at the beginning of the season, I mean, you can start this 10-game season at 4-1 as well. But it's up to you. You got to play with the same intensity and the same vigor and mindset that you had in the first 5 weeks moving forward.
You know, clearly a lot of questions about this team after the loss to Seattle and primarily the loss to Los Angeles. I would imagine the guys are a prideful group. I mean, you almost have to be an NFL football player, and to lose 35-7 and have a week extra to think about it, it was probably rough. I imagine they're pretty excited to get back out on the field Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you're right, Hack. The best thing about the NFL is that there's opportunities to redeem yourself, and this team needs that. I mean, it's kind of tough when you go into the bye week on a 2-game losing streak. It's better to go into with some momentum, but unfortunately, you know, you got to put that behind you. You're 4-3. You got 10 games to go. You need to get on a nice little roll. You need to start getting back to the way you played the first 5 weeks. You know, with intensity, turnovers, big plays, protecting the quarterback, running the ball, pressuring the passer, all those things that you did so well in the first 5 weeks. I mean, it just doesn't up and disappear. You just got to get back to whatever you did then. You got to have the same motivation, and you got to play with the same tempo and intensity that you did the first 5 weeks moving forward if you're going to have the kind of success that you want in the long run.
Former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy with us here on Hacker After Dark. Jaguars Raiders Sunday at 4 o'clock. Leon, let's begin with Trevor Lawrence. There was some good in the first half of the year. There was certainly some bad in the first half of the year as well. What are your expectations for Trevor beginning on Sunday in Las Vegas?
Well, there are always going to be high expectations of Trevor Lawrence. You know, we're going into year 5 now. We shouldn't be seeing the same inconsistencies that we've seen. Now, it hasn't all been bad, but it hasn't all been good. I think Kurt Warner said it best when he was in London. I mean, you could even tell in the telecast when he was doing the commentary or announcing the game, the frustration in his voice when it comes to Trevor, because he is a talent. I mean, he'll make the throws that only 1 or 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league can make. But then the easy stuff, the layup, the profit, the small stuff, the intermediate stuff, it makes it so difficult for the catcher to catch the ball when it should be such an easy transition for him just to make that throw. So Trevor's got to be a lot more consistent in the short to intermediate throws because we've seen the wow in Trevor. I don't need the wow. I mean, I need the layup. I need the layup to go in the basket.
Oh, it's a good point. And yeah, look, we saw a couple of wow throws, particularly in that win over Kansas City. But then you'll see Trevor airmail a ball by 5 yards on a guy that's open 10 yards down the field. It's bizarre that still happens with him. You almost have to accept it at this point, that you're going to get some of that in every game. The running game, too, Leon. I mean, the first month, man, this running game was one of the best in the league. Now, granted, score has dictated some of this. They've been down by a couple of touchdowns to both Seattle and L.A., but there is no doubt they are not running the ball near what they were the first month of the year, and they've absolutely got to get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, this offensive line has to get back to its toughness. Like I keep saying, in the first 5 weeks, I mean, this offensive line was playing lights out. They were getting after the defensive fronts, double teams, down blocks, pulls, traps, getting to the second level, moving furniture, so to say. And then they ran into the Seattle team, big physical team up front, and they got manhandled. And then, quite frankly, in the Rams game, they got manhandled as well. So whatever's going on needs to change. You can't go into these next 10 games playing the way you played the last two. This is a whole new season, whole new focus, whole new energy, effort, intensity, all that stuff. You can't play the way you played going into the bye. Everybody has to elevate their play. Everybody has to say that what I'm doing is not good enough. So if everybody takes that approach, no one stays even keel and wants to play at a high elite level, I mean, this team is going to be all right. But it's got to be the mindset in the locker room that, going into the bye, we can't allow that stuff to carry over into these next 10 games.
Couple of more for Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on Prime Time, and of course Sunday evening you will get him 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Raiders go final on the fifth quarter with myself and the coach Gerald Ingram. If you're an NFL wide receiver, Leon, you got to catch the football, man. That kind of comes as part of the job. The Jaguars have the most drops in the NFL this year, and it's not particularly close. And certainly there is some blame to go around. Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown. But Brian Thomas Jr. has gotten a brunt of the criticism. Quite frankly, he has not been very good through the first 7 games this year. What is your expectation for BTJ now after the bye week?
Well, I'm not going to give up on the kid. I think he just needs to get out of his own way. I've seen the emergence of a wide receiver right before my eyes when I played here in Jacksonville in 1996, coming off a bye. Just happened to be Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith became Jimmy Smith that year in 96 when he got the opportunity to be the starting wide receiver after Andre Rison left. And I'm not sitting here saying that BTJ is going to be Jimmy Smith. But what I'm saying is I've been in the locker room and I saw the emergence of a superstar after the bye when Jimmy Smith got the opportunity to take. So BTJ has he has that, whatever happened the first 7 weeks is gone. You just got to put it behind you. You got to become a better version of yourself these next 10 games. And it has nothing to do with talent, nothing to do with ability. It has everything to do with your psyche. Whatever he's going through, he's got to get over it because this team needs him. If this team wants to go where it wants to go into the postseason, win a division championship, whatever it may be, he's got to be an intricate part of it. So I'm not going to give up on him because I saw the emergence of a superstar in Jimmy Smith after the bye, after we struggled and we made a nice little run into the playoffs in 96. And I'm not saying he's going to be any kind of version of that, but if he's half the version of what Jimmy was in 96 and gets out of his own way, he could have a stellar season moving forward.
No, it's a great point. People forget Jimmy Smith was a special teams player in 1995. Yep. And then, like you said, after Rison left, he obviously emerged as the best receiver to ever wear a Jaguar uniform. Travis Hunter, quickly, Leon, was the silver lining last week at Wembley Stadium before the bye. 8 grabs for 100 yards. And what I really loved is he was targeted 14 times. Man, you hope that continues.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, with BTJ struggling, you got to run the offense through Travis Hunter. You have to. The kid is, I think he's coming into his own now. He's building up a little bit momentum, a little bit more confidence. He's fearless. I mean, he'll catch whatever through the middle, up high, between two defenders. The kid just loves football and is infectious because he just seems to be having fun out there. So you've got to devise ways to get him to stress the defense, give him a couple of crossing routes, give him some short stuff so he can take the ball and use his elusiveness to get more yards. If I'm the Jaguars right now, as bad as we need points to score, to get the momentum, the offense, I'm playing him at least 80% of the time on offense now because we got to run the offense through him in our passing game.
Leon, as we wrap up defensively, the secondary has gotten beat over the top. I mean, Devontae Adams did whatever he wanted to do. Stafford threw 5 touchdowns the last time they were out. But, look, a lot of that has to do with the lack of pass rush. I mean, I saw Ryan O'Halloran tweet this out earlier. Something like 250 NFL players this year have at least one quarterback sack, and Josh Allen, Hines Allen, is not among them, as he has half a sack. Now, I get it. You know, Trayvon Walker's basically out there playing with one hand, and when Walker is not effective, teams can double team and triple team Hines Allen. But my gracious, man, whether you're 41, 44, lump Armstead in there, Mason Smith, I don't care how you do it. At Campanile, it's his job to figure it out. You've got to affect Geno Smith on Sunday in Las Vegas.
You know, as much as we get on Trevor about, getting the bag and not performing as well as he should, Josh Hines Allen has to be put in that same category. You can't get the bag and play below average. You got to be disruptive. You've got to affect the quarterback in whatever capacity you can. You got to be someone that the offensive coordinator says in the meeting room, this guy needs to be neutralized or we can't run our offense. He's neither one of those. And, he has a half a sack right now, and Trayvon Walker has 1. That's pitiful. And I'm not giving Trayvon Walker a pass either. I mean, I know he's in a cast, but I've seen and played with guys who had casts who were effective getting after the passer. So I'm not making any excuses for him as well. But all those guys got to play better. I mean, Eric Armstead's got to play better. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's 6'8", 300-something pounds, and he's not as disruptive as he should be. And then when we do blitz, we got to get home because we can't rush this 4 right now with the lack of energy and effort our front 4 is giving us. So we got to bring 5. We got to bring 6. So now when we do that, we're in man, and then, we're in situations where we got guys running past us, when we're getting beat in man, when we bring in extra guys. So, we got to be better up front because our back end can't hold up 4 and 5 and 6 seconds. The quarterback has to throw the ball. You've got to make that quarterback get that ball out of his hands by whatever rush you bring, 4, 5, or 6. But right now we're not affecting anybody with the 4-man, and then when we run 5 and 6-man blitzes, we're not getting home.
It is a massively important game out in Las Vegas on Sunday, 4:15, Jaguars-Raiders. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. And, of course, after the game goes final, the 5th quarter with the coach Gerald Ingram, myself, and, of course, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. We should get underway right about 9 o'clock or so Sunday evening. Leon, appreciate you as always, and I'll talk to you Sunday night on the 5th quarter.
All right, bro.
When the Dogs and Gators cross the bridge, the world's largest cocktail party becomes a fight on the First Coast.
There's something special about the game being in Jacksonville. The stadium split right down the middle.
Will the Gators bring the swamp to the 904? Or will the Dogs hedge another victory? It's the Chomp of the Swamp and the Bark of the Dogs. Florida and Georgia, Saturday at 3:30 on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the first coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich, the one-stop solution for any plumbing problem, residential or commercial. No matter how complex the work, Roland Reich quotes all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Whether your pipes are doing a water ballet or you need to hydrojet the whole system, always use Roland Reich Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Duval Fence is looking for the best in fence installers. Check out DuvalFence.com right now and fence in a great job opportunity. From estimates to installers, they're looking for you right now. Log on to DuvalFence.com for all the details. Equal opportunity employer.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center offers women's health, diagnostic, and screening services, including contract-enhanced mammography and total body MRI. Early detection is the key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us till 8 o'clock. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. You know, despite the two-game losing streak for the Jaguars, going from 4-1 to 4-3 and thinking the sky is falling, you know, you look at the health of this football team 7 games into the year, relatively speaking, it's pretty good. I mean, Brenton Strange has been on IR. He's going to miss at least the next 2 games, and then we'll evaluate where he is. But outside of that, I mean, look, today's injury report, right? There are 8 guys on the injury report. 7 of the 8 participated, at least limited, in practice. De'Ami Brown, Dennis Gardeck, Jordan Lewis, Devin Lloyd, Quentin Morris, Tim Patrick, Brian Thomas. All limited participation. The only guy that did not participate was safety Eric Murray. That's pretty good. 7 games into an NFL season when you look at injuries all over the league. The Las Vegas Raiders today, by the way, Brock Bowers did have full participation. Max Crosby did not participate because of the back. One would think that's probably maybe a rest day. I would think Crosby will certainly go on Sunday, but the Jaguars pretty healthy, all things considering, entering the month of November. If you missed this earlier as well, gigantic contract extension for Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson got paid in Detroit, now one of the highest paid defensive ends in the league, and with good reason. He's a good player. I like Trayvon Walker. This is nothing against Trayvon Walker. He did not ask Trent Baalke to draft him number 1. That's one that Baalke missed. Aiden Hutchinson has been phenomenal, and he gets rewarded today. I'm not saying Trayvon's not a good player, because Trayvon is a good player. But Aiden Hutchinson is a superstar. And right on for Detroit. They were able to snag him at number 2. He's been great, and he gets rewarded today with a gigantic contract. Halftime, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take it at 8 o'clock. More on college football coaching carousel. Did you hear what the Louisiana governor said a few hours ago? Whew! You'll hear it next on Hacker After Dark.
He's a beast in the trenches and a baller off the field. Eric Armstead joins Helmets and Heels with Tom McManus, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl. Fridays at 3. Kept healthy by orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville on 1010XL.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
It's Thursday. New Hard Rock Bet rewards are dropping.
Nice. Ed Reed, you in?
The only thing I drop is receivers and mics.
Ed, we're talking bonus bets, deposit matches, parlay insurance.
Oh, okay. I'll do that kind of drop.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryant, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success. If you're making plans to see our home team in Nashville against the Titans in November, go to 1010XL.com and click the Omni Nashville banner for the 1010XL special rate, only for 1010XL listeners. That's the Omni Nashville banner on the 1010XL website.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Leonard Skinnard is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinnard Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces.
Singing songs about the Southland.
Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinnard rocks, for those who serve.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off soon with an epic in-state showdown. The defending national champion Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Hoop Showdown. Be there Sunday, November 16th at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus Miami right here at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, November 16th. Ticketmaster.com.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bolt City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, halftime, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. Bill Bender, national college football writer of the Sporting News. We will talk a little bit about Florida and Georgia. Was downtown earlier today, saw RV City get rocking and rolling. We are less than 72 hours away, of course, from kickoff of the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. So Bill Bender of the Sporting News coming up in just a moment. Also Justin Barney of Channel 4 talking Jaguars, Raiders, and previewing the final regular season week of high school football in the area. Boy, that went by quick, right? We will be under the Thursday night lights tomorrow. A lot of high school games tomorrow because of Florida, Georgia. And it is the final week of the high school football regular season. Before we get to Bill Bender and Justin Barney, the big story, I guess, earlier this afternoon came out of the state of Louisiana. As we know, not only does Florida have a job opening after the firing of Billy Napier, well, Louisiana State University, otherwise known as LSU, has a job opening because of the firing of Brian Kelly. And we had gotten word that the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, had gotten involved in that process to get rid of Brian Kelly. And I didn't think much of it at the time. That was a couple of days ago. And then earlier this afternoon, no more than, I guess, 2.5 hours ago, Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana, is holding court at a press conference. Now, again, I said this earlier. In the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of AI, you got to be careful when you watch these videos to make sure it's not AI, because some things are just so outrageous you think, well, that's got to be AI. And 9 times out of 10, they are. This might be the 1 time out of 10 it wasn't. I thought when I clicked on this video, it was going to be an AI video. No, it wasn't. This was Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana, earlier this afternoon, scorching the earth on LSU AD Scott Woodward, and also maybe going in a little bit on agents in college football, including maybe Jimmy Sexton, who represents Lane Kiffin. Listen to what Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana, had to say hours ago.
I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because, wait, I want to, hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people. Like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent.
Man, all right, so there you go. The governor of Louisiana putting himself out there, ripping the LSU athletic director, saying basically, absolutely, that guy's not making the hire. And then talking about the agents in college football and how they're all represented by, a small number of people. And I don't know if that's going to mean anything when it comes to the coaching hire, but I can tell you this. National pundits in college football, LSU message boards in the last couple of hours are not happy at the governor of Louisiana for going all in on the LSU AD, whether you think he's right or not.
Well, here's the thing real quick. You know, the boosters, they met at the governor's mansion for his firing. Like they all met there and they said he needs to be fired. And that was made there.
Sure. Yeah. No, I totally get that. But I think if you're, if you're Jimmy Sexton, obviously, or any agent in college football, and you see the governor of the state of Louisiana making comments like that, essentially calling out your practice or your profession, he didn't go as far as accusing people of stuff. That's kind of where he was leaning to, I think, monopolizing what's going on with all these buyouts and everything. Bad look. And again, will it matter when it comes to a bidding war if it's LSU versus Florida for Lane Kiffin? Who knows? But I can tell you this. I'm much happy it was the governor of Louisiana doing that publicly than, say, if it was the governor of Florida doing that publicly. So we'll see what happens. But certainly Florida, LSU, we know about Penn State, Arkansas. You see the fire or the smoke around James Franklin to Virginia Tech? That has started to heat up. Obviously, Franklin has a lot of ties on the East Coast portion of the country. Virginia Tech has a job opening there in Blacksburg. I think that would be a decent hire for Virginia Tech. They could do a heck of a lot worse than James Franklin, and James Franklin wants to get right back in. And if you can't get right back in at LSU or at Florida, and you're obviously not going back to Penn State, I mean, Denmark, the next best job, at least right now, is Virginia Tech, unless you're James Franklin, you want to potentially wait for Auburn or Florida State.
Or another year.
Or go to TV and wait another year. Now, he's 53, right? I mean, I assume he would get back in next year. But I don't know why you would want to wait another year. There's so many jobs that are open, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes the best thing for you to do is just wait a year, and you have time to reflect and sit back and say, okay, this is kind of what I want in my job, rather than jump right into another job.
Well, and something else to consider, too, though. I mean, if Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss, guess what? Ole Miss becomes open. If Eli Drinkowitz leaves Missouri, guess what? Missouri becomes open. So it's going to be a domino effect. I still believe Auburn, Kentucky, and probably Florida State come open. I can't imagine, unless Auburn just starts racking up victories here down the stretch, the Hugh Freeze will be back. I think Mark Stoops is probably tapped out in Lexington. And I still am of the opinion that Florida State is going to change coaches as well. So we're just getting warmed up on the firings and the places that need people to be hired. And I think James Franklin, if he wants to dive right back in, he'll obviously be given that opportunity. But there are rumors out there that he and Virginia Tech at least look like they could be a potential match down the road. Let's talk about all of it with Bill Bender, national college football writer of the Sporting News. Certainly one of my favorites to come on and talk college ball. Florida's opening, LSU's opening, Lane Kiffin's future. And we actually might talk about the cocktail party as well. Bill Bender of the Sporting News next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800. Or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life. And I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Will the call of the dogs be the hedge to victory? Or will the Gator Walk come through Jacksonville? Florida Georgia Week is enhanced by Ackerman Urology and Cancer Center and 904 Gutters with a Z on 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Sawgrass Asset Management loves this time of year when two decorated teams meet in the world of college football. Every year, we relive the rivalry with great moments from both sides of the big game thanks to Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. The Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community. That's Sawgrass Asset Management. Log on to saw-grass.com to find out more.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass. They say you're gonna see a big difference, but what does that really mean? It means a live local person on the phone, a smooth, easy process, skilled craftsmen, and excellent customer service all around, with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Bueller,
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida, Georgia, Saturday, 3:30. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. For Georgia, it's all about one game at a time to try to make the college football playoff. For Florida, back on the field for the first time since the Billy Napier firing, Billy Gonzalez, the interim coach. And honestly, Gator Nation is probably a little more concerned with what is going to be the future at Florida as opposed to what's going to happen on Saturday. Let's talk about all of it with Bill Bender of the Sporting News, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Bill, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I think at a lot of schools right now, 8 in particular in the Power 4, it's more about what's going to be next season than what's left of this one.
No, there's no doubt. You and I spoke a month ago before a lot of this craziness happened. And since the last time you and I talked, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, Penn State, obviously now Florida and LSU have come open. Bill, you've done this for a long time, man. You ever seen anything like this?
We've had years with, a lot of coaches that have gone, 20 plus. You've had years with 28, 27 coaches, but that's including the group of 5. So, but at this point in the year and last 3 weeks in particular, where it's like a Sunday tradition that we have a Power 4 coach get fired from James Franklin to Billy Napier, and then, of course, Brian Kelly on Sunday. I don't know if I've seen a phenomenon quite like it, and I still think we're trying to figure out how to negotiate coaching in the college football playoff era and dealing with failure in a 16-team SEC and an 18-team Big Ten.
Look, there's no doubt, and we'll get to the game here in Jacksonville between Florida and Georgia in a moment. We spent a lot of time last week talking about why it didn't work out for Billy Napier. And as you can imagine, everybody here is suffering from LKS. That's Lane Kiffin syndrome. Overwhelming majority of Gator fans want Lane Kiffin. And now the LSU job comes open last night, Bill, as you mentioned. How much will that complicate things for the Gators, in your opinion?
Well, I don't know how many teams Lane Kiffin can coach next year. I mean, between Florida and Ole Miss and LSU and, maybe Arkansas once and two, he's one way or the other, he's probably going to get some more money. I think, I'll start with Lane. I think part of the complication for him is, okay, you could leave for one of those places, but is it better than what you've accomplished? By the way, over the last 3 years, I looked this up, 4th best Power 4 record, Ole Miss. Done a fantastic job there. And he has a quarterback right now in Trinidad Chambliss who was making some next-level NFL throws over the weekend at Oklahoma, and they kind of got that off their back, winning on the road there. So, there's a lot of reasons to like what he's doing there.
And that's kind of the point that we brought up last week, and I got ridiculed a little bit by some Gator fans on social media, and that's fine. It won't be the first time, and it certainly won't be the last, but this is not 1995 anymore, right? This is not even 2010. In the land of NIL and the portal, look, I'm not saying Florida is not a better job than Ole Miss, but I think the gap has really narrowed in that regard, has it not?
A little bit. You can get ridiculed by whoever, but the bottom line is, Ole Miss is successful right now in the 12-team college football playoff era. Florida's pretty far removed from the Urban Meyer national championship era. 4 coaches removed. So, I think stability matters in some ways in college football. And I've had this conversation all day across the country where, I just think some of these universities in this era, if you really want to treat this like the NFL, then you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have some 8-4 seasons, especially in an SEC grinder where all of these teams are pretty good.
Bill Bender, national college football columnist for the Sporting News, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. All right, Lane Kiffin. We know Florida's interested. Bill, how interested do you believe LSU will be in him?
I think also interested. That based on what I was just saying, that they've been hyper successful. I've kind of viewed them as the best program that has not reached a college football playoff. And Lane's got them right on the doorstep. They'd have to screw it up pretty bad here down the stretch not to get in this year. I do think both of those schools will be interested. It comes down to what Lane wants. I know Auburn wanted him at one point a couple years ago too. So, it makes it very interesting. And I still think his best play is probably to stay at Ole Miss. As crazy as that sounds. I know Florida has top 10 classes. LSU's classes, they've had 5 straight top 10 classes. They don't finish outside the top 10 in recruiting. So, the money can get outrageous. And, one thing with LSU, the first thing they got to do is figure out the buyout. These buyouts are incredible.
They are incredible. Reportedly over $50 million for Brian Kelly. And Bill, you're the perfect person to ask because you cover it from a national basis. And I've seen a lot of national folks today talk about, how much better of a job LSU is than Florida. Say, well, Lane Kiffin would have had a choice between Ole Miss and Florida, but you don't really have a choice if LSU comes calling. That's a job you have to take. Do you agree that LSU is leaps and bounds a better job than Florida?
I don't know about leaps and bounds, but I think it's been proven that 3 of their last 4 head coaches have won national titles. Ed O won a national title, and they've been trying to recapture that 2019 team. That's why I think Joe Brady could be an interesting candidate for them, the Bills coach who has done a nice job as the offensive coordinator there. I think he's a viable candidate as well. But leaps and bounds, no, but better right now, yes. Just because, like I said, you're recruiting top 10 classes every year. It's not that Florida can't do that, but they have to do that. And you look at the records, it was ironic to me. I looked at it today. LSU and Penn State in the playoff era, they're separated by half a game. LSU's a half game better than Penn State.
That's wild. I'll give you one even wilder. Ole Miss and Florida, if you go back to 2015, Ole Miss has 81 victories. Florida has 80. So, I mean, we talk about a better job. Based on wins and losses, at least in the last decade plus, that does not compute because Ole Miss is every bit as good a job as Florida based on win total. Bill, all right, a couple more for Bill Bender of the Sporting News. If not Lane Kiffin for the Gators, take LSU out for a moment for our audience. If not Lane Kiffin, who is that second or maybe even third phone call to?
Why not James Franklin? I mean, very good. He's very good. Is he not getting a lot of excitement down there? Is it because of what happened at Penn State this year? I mean, he does know how to build a program. He knows how to win. I think Eli Drinkwitz is interesting. Alex Golish at South Florida. I think I don't know if he's Florida ready, but he's a guy that I've had my eye on, and I think he's a very good coach. I know they lost last weekend, but I don't know. You tell me. Those are kind of the names that jump out to me, Franklin in particular, and that's the one that sticks out.
I just don't think it's the sexiest name for Gator fans, but I'll tell you who I'm a big fan of, and that's Brent Key. I love everything about Brent Key at Georgia Tech. He would be very high on my list.
The trick there, and you're not wrong, he is an outstanding coach and what he's been able to do and accomplish, and he has the SEC roots from Alabama. It is tricky to pull guys away from their alma mater, especially when they've had success. I mean, last week, I don't know if this held up, last week there were 7 teams in the top 25 who were being coached by somebody who played there, from Kirby and Brent Key, Jeff Brom. These are guys that, like Jeff Brom, be a great candidate for Penn State. But I don't think they're going to be able to pull him away from Louisville.
I think Florida State would have the same trouble if they fire Norvell, because I hear all Florida State fans talking about Kenny Dillingham. Well, you got the same issue out there with Arizona State. Quickly, Norvell gets the vote of confidence to the end of the year. Do you expect Mike Norvell to be back in Tallahassee in 2026?
Maybe. These last couple games will have something to do with it. And, Ralph Russo from The Athletic tweeted something yesterday that made sense. Is the market getting crowded to the point that a couple places might hang on to their guy for another year? Now, I don't know what the answer to that is because everybody's going to be wanting to get their coach for next year. But Florida State, I think some of that will hinge on how they finish. Obviously, the Stanford loss was bad, and they're in the mix of this losing streak. And you know what? You and I have been around this long enough to know what the vote of confidence really means. So that means you better get it going in these last couple games.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have the $50 million a week ago. Maybe they'll find it in the next 6 weeks when the season ends. Final moments, Bill Bender of the Sporting News. All right, you and I have gone 10 minutes here. We haven't even talked about the cocktail party on Saturday. Look, it is what it is, right? Florida's got a lot of talent, but they have underachieved. Georgia, clearly the better team. Florida, I do think will play hard for Billy Gonzalez. But let's be real here, Bill. It's a tall order for the Gators on Saturday.
Yeah, we get to talk about a game. Holy cow. Georgia, 10 total yards of offense and a balanced offense in their last game, and I think Gunnar Stockton's really played well, and that's the challenge. Can you make Georgia turn it over? Can you give in to some of the things that make rivalries great and make a couple plays early? This Georgia defense is not one of their best ones, but been pretty good in SEC play for the most part. So I think it's a tough ask for Florida. I like Georgia in the ball game. Georgia has dominated. I looked at it today. I was like, man, they've won the last 4 by that many. So it's just kind of on Florida to make it a competitive game.
All right, Bill, Florida's open, LSU's open, Arkansas's open. When it comes to the Southeastern Conference, Auburn, Kentucky, anybody else might open in the next couple of weeks?
Well, that would be 2 that I would take a close look at. Auburn, obviously, a lot of close losses under Hugh Freeze, and if they don't make a bowl game, I could see that being a thing. Kentucky, we'll see. Mark Stoops, and I think one of the guys there, John Summerall would make a lot of sense there with his connections to the program, but Mark Stoops is doing his best. But again, this is life in the SEC. When you have 16 teams, somebody's got to lose. But I also think Kentucky and Arkansas in particular, they got to be thinking, hey, we're watching Mizzou and Vandy playing like the best game in this slot last Saturday. Why can't we be doing that? And I think that will be a that'll go a long way into the thinking in their next hire.
Leave us with this. You mentioned Vandy, maybe the best story in college football this year, them and Georgia Tech. Who do you like between Vandy and Texas on Saturday?
I pick Texas, but I don't love it. I think their defense is very good. They're at home. I don't know if Arch Manning will play. It sounds like he didn't practice Monday. Concussion, and they could go with the backup quarterback. I do like that Texas defense a lot. Big moment for Vandy, because if they get that one, the playoff path is super wide open, and I think they're in. Even if they lose to Tennessee at that point, a 10-2 Vandy team would be deserving of the college football playoff.
A 10-2 Vandy team, Clark Lee joins the conversation for some of these jobs, correct? But again, that's his alma mater.
Yeah, and that's the tough part, like what he's building there. He would there's a certain amount where it's like, okay, how much money would it take, to do that? But he has taken a lot of pride in his alma mater and what he's built there in a short time. And again, in this NIL transfer portal world, 5 years ago, you told me Vandy, Georgia Tech, Indiana, all in the top 10, I would have said no way. So it is part of the world we live in.
Bill, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, heading into the cocktail party on Saturday, plus all this coaching carousel stuff, what you guys have coming out on the sporting news in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, I'm at Bill Bender 92 at Sporting News. We'll have, trying to think, I got a story with the Chad Powers director this week. We have more than enough coaching carousel material. And, like I said, we're getting into week 10, and that means November, and we're one week away from the first college football playoff rankings. So I actually think the carousel has overtaken the playoff race, which has been totally wild.
It's been a crazy college football season, and it will get crazier as we move along. Bill Bender of the Sporting News. Bill, I know you're busy. Thank you for taking time out for us here in Jacksonville, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
It's a powerhouse showdown between 8-1 teams. The Bulldogs end the regular season in Lake City against the Tigers. Bulls Columbia, Friday at 7:30 on 1010 AM.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. Where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
Hey, friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me. I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth, and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
Don't ghost your carpet this fall. Hicken here. Right now, you can get your entire home zero resified from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a free haul for Halloween. Get it? There's something scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home. It's in your air ducts. This month, take 50% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dream Finders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Tired of roofers who never answer the phone and just use AI?
I'm Morgan Conley, the People's Roofer. I answer every call. No robots, no runaround. I'm born here, built here, staying here. Visit morganconleyroofing.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jax cool since '87.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground over the last 90 minutes. We're entering the fourth quarter of Hacker After Dark. We'll take you up till 8 o'clock as we do, most nights. Again, 8 to 10 is normally our time slot, but we're in for Rick Ballou. Ballou was in for Helmets and Heels because Helmets and Heels is out in Las Vegas, getting ready for the Jaguars and the Raiders on Sunday. Again, Jaguar injury report is out. 8 people on the injury report. 7 of the 8 participated in practice in a limited capacity. The only Jaguar player that did not participate at all was safety Eric Murray. And again, look, 7 weeks into the year, it's hard to complain about that. There are a lot more horrifically injured teams than the Jaguars are. Relatively speaking, Brenton Strange's IR spot aside, the Jaguars have been reasonably healthy as they begin this 10-game gauntlet. Again, they have a game every week for the next 10 weeks now to conclude their regular season. It begins Sunday out in Las Vegas. For the Raiders, Max Crosby did not practice today with a back. I would think that's more precautionary. I would bet that he practices tomorrow. We'll see. Brock Bowers was a full participant at practice. Bowers has not really been healthy for the Raiders basically since opening day, but the Raiders are coming off a bye week as well. He's telling reporters out in Las Vegas that he is as healthy as he's been all year, and that appears to be the plan for the Raiders, to go with Bowers. He missed the last couple of games before the bye with injury. So we'll continue talking about the Jaguars and the Raiders. Justin Barney of Channel 4 will join me. I do want to remind you, tomorrow night, already the final week of the high school football regular season. We will be on tomorrow night, Denmark and I, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. A little Thursday night lights. Almost every game in the area, high school football-wise, is tomorrow because of the Florida-Georgia festivities. So Hacker After Dark will turn into the Thursday Night Lights postgame. We'll have Victoria's head coaches all over Northeast Florida tomorrow night. And then I'll be right back here with you Friday night, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, to go into the weekend on Hacker After Dark. But let's dive back into the Jaguars, the Raiders, the 4-3 start, how vitally important, and I do mean vitally important, this game is for Jacksonville. And let's do that with Justin Barney of Channel 4. He's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark, and that's next. On a Wednesday evening here in Northeast Florida with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us till 8 o'clock. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here, and I recently celebrated a birthday with friends and family, and a lot of photos were taken. And you go on Facebook and you look, and you have those memories of years past on the same day. And I saw pictures of myself from 2 years ago. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. That's back when I was over 300 pounds. I mean, I was in a bad spot in life with my weight. And now here we are, my birthday in 2025, down over 100 pounds, keeping the weight off. I look like a completely different human being. I can't tell you how many times I'm told that pretty much on a daily basis by people who haven't seen me in quite some time. Go to awaken180weightloss.com, awaken180weightloss.com. I'm living proof. If you want to drop the weight, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. 844-346-1800.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center offers women's health, diagnostic, and screening services, including contract-enhanced mammography and total body MRI. Early detection is the key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle Fencing. Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coyle has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Jacksonville, hunting season is here, and nobody gears you up like Green Acres Sporting Goods, home of the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida. They've got everything for all seasons: archery, black powder, and general gun season. Green Acres is a fully stocked Browning dealer with ammo, accessories, and safes. Don't miss out on Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday, happening now through the end of the year. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
This is Hayes Carlion, here from a driver who made the smart move to buying a vehicle from Atlantic Infinity.
Hayes, this is my second Infinity, so I knew exactly what I wanted, and Atlantic Infinity made it so easy for me. The GM Dwayne had my new ride ready to go, and I was in and out of the dealership in about 30 minutes. The Atlantic Infinity promise just sealed the deal for me. It's $2,500 in added value, including roadside assistance. I am so happy with my new car.
Atlantic Infinity, Atlantic, near St. John's Bluff.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL as the Jaguars 4-3 coming off a bye week in what is a very, very important game for the Jaguars. Let's preview it. Let's also preview the final night of the high school football regular season, if you can believe that. It's going to be a very busy week, of course, with Florida, Georgia in town as well. My buddy Justin Barney of Channel 4, always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Justin, how we doing?
Not too bad, Hack. Can't believe we are already at the final
regular season week of high school football, and Jaguars hard to get the bye week in the rear view, and they're back for the closing stretch. A lot of stuff to look forward to, and oh, by the way, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in town too, so a busy week around the area.
Yeah, because Florida, Georgia on Saturday, the high school football schedule changes a little bit. Justin and I will fill you in on that in just a moment. But let's begin with the Jaguars, Justin, off the bye week, 2-game losing streak heading into the bye. Hopefully the bye, they were able to kind of reorganize some things a little bit as they get ready to take on Las Vegas. And the question to me is this Jaguar team the 4-1 team we saw in the first 5 weeks, or are they more the 0-2 team that we saw leading up to the bye? We'll probably get some of those answers beginning on Sunday.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, I mean, is this the team that beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football and a resilient performance from Trevor Lawrence? And is this the team that bounced back from that loss in Cincinnati and got to 4-1 on the season? So I don't know what to make of it. It's been a little bit of the last 2 games out, almost a little bit of what we saw last year with the Jaguars, the inability to block consistently, 14 sacks in the last 2 games given up. You still can't rush the passer. The turnover streak has dried up. So yeah, what to make of the Jaguars after such a start that people, I think if you'd have told Jaguars fans beginning of the year, you're going to be 4-3 at the bye, and with a win over the Chiefs, I think anybody would have taken that and said that's a pretty big success. But you're only as good as your last time out. The Jaguars weren't very good their last 2 times out, so you got to hope that the recalibration over the bye week and the things you really need to work on, like catching passes and getting to the pass rusher and blocking up front, you hope some of those things, the deficiencies, have been addressed, and the coaching staff was able to get some of that hammered out over that long and much needed bye week.
You know, there were so many concerning things that happened in the losses to Seattle and to LA over there in London. The 2 biggest ones for me, though, and then you can pick a lot of them, but to me the 2 biggest were the penalties, which is just preposterous. 13 accepted penalties. The Jaguars actually committed more. The Rams only accepted 13 of them for over 100 yards. And the inexplicable drops. To me, look, it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to look sloppy when you lose. And the Jaguars looked sloppy against the Rams, and that was unacceptable.
Yeah, that's completely agree. I mean, the blocking up front, the penalties, which have been an issue all season long, the Brian Thomas drops have been an issue all season long. And, you can handle getting beat. But as Liam Cohen says, and I think fans would agree with, the self-inflicted penalties, the mistakes, the issues are costing this team football games. And there's no way to sugarcoat that or lipstick on a pig, however you want to say it. There's no way to kind of diminish that this team is beating itself. And yes, they're losing to good teams. Seattle was a very good team defensively. LA, very good team defensively. But I just don't think you can look at this team and say you feel confident about where they are just from, yes, they've had a good stretch, but man, are they regressing? Are these issues uncorrectable? I mean, it seems like they are, because they continue to happen. They've been happening since week 1 of the season. So you got to wonder, do you have the right personnel in? I don't know what else the coaching staff can do. I mean, these are issues the players themselves have to correct and fix. And we just have not seen any of that. Really at no point in the season have we seen these issues really kind of dry up and work themselves out. And like I said, you're only as good as your last time out. Your last 2 times out weren't really very good.
Justin Barney of Channel 4. You look at the overall body of work against the Rams, there was really not a lot of good that happened. But the one silver lining, Justin, was, of course, Travis Hunter, 8 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. I love the fact that they targeted him 14 times. I think clearly with the issues at wide receiver, the ongoing troubles for Brian Thomas Jr., I think Travis Hunter needs to become more of a focal point in this offense. What's your opinion there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw what he did last week. You traded up. You gave a king's ransom to go up and get him, and said, James Gladstone in an introductory press conference, we thought a guy who could really transcend the sport and lift the whole sport as a whole. He certainly did that at Colorado, and we just haven't seen that so far. I don't know if that's the coaching staff being a little bit protective of him and not wanting to put too much on him, but I think you're at the point now where you've really, really got to say, hey, this guy's one of our best players. He was a unicorn in college. We drafted him to be a special player. I think you throw him out there and keep targeting him 14 times a game on offense. The receiving core as a whole has been really the most disappointing part of the team. Parker Washington has had critical drops. De'Ami Brown, you get a 1-year, $10 million deal, and you've been a disappointment. Brian Thomas Jr., we talked about him. I think Travis Hunter has probably been your most consistent pass catcher. So I would load him up as much as you can. And we saw him do it at Colorado. And I think you really got to take the bubble wrap off Travis and throw him out there and target him that many times a game. If you want him on defense too, keep him out there. I think he's a natural cornerback, but he's got to be able to do something a little bit more on offense because this team has really underwhelmed on that side of the ball.
Defensively, Justin, they've given up some big plays in the secondary, although they're getting basically no pass rush on the opposing quarterback, and those two are kind of in sync, right? If you don't get pressure on the quarterback, he's going to carve the secondary up. I don't know what they can figure out in 2 weeks, but my gracious, man, they have got to figure out a way to affect Geno Smith on Sunday.
Yeah, and again, that's another one where are your guys? Where are your Armsteads and Mason Smiths and Josh Hines-Allens? You've got to be able to get into that backfield and create a play. I mean, do something. I mean, I don't understand how this defensive front, you really didn't touch it in the offseason. And you expected your big money guys to be playing. And I know Trayvon having the wrist injury is hurt. He's playing with a club on his hand. But, the Josh Hines-Allen, where are the sacks? Eric Armstead, where are the sacks, consistent sacks when you're switching positions and playing more inside? Where's that growth spurt from Mason Smith? We haven't seen it. Is Devon Hamilton even playing? We've barely even heard his name mentioned this year. So I think there's so many issues that were masked in that good start, but they're the same issues that existed in the offseason, and you gotta scheme around it, and you've got to do something because what you did in those 2 games leading up to the bye just wasn't working. And when the defense is not creating 3 turnovers a game, the offense has not been able to pull its share of the load. And I think that starts up front on that line when you're not getting pressure and affecting the quarterback. And, you had Sam Darnold back there and you couldn't get back to him. He's a statue. And he just kind of picked you apart. So you got to get into that pressure and rattle Geno. I'm not as concerned at the Raiders as I was with the Rams and Seahawks, but yeah, you got to have that pressure up front, and you've got to be able to change the game at the line of scrimmage.
Final moments, Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, I think it's a gigantic game for Jacksonville. If you go out to Las Vegas and win, you're 5-3. The waters have kind of calmed a little bit. You're kind of on the right path again. If you go out there and lose, you go from 4-1 to 4-4 with a trip at Houston the following week, and at that point the wheels may come off. I cannot explain to people the words how important this game is for Jacksonville on Sunday.
Yeah, really, you've got to get back on the saddle. I mean, you win that game, you're 5-3. We've seen what Indy's doing in those games or later in the season, but you're already facing that deficit, and you already got to climb out of that hole. And you can't do that with 2 games left, but you can't give up any more ground. And if you can't beat the Raiders, they've got bigger problems to worry about. But I do think they get back on the saddle and can win out there in Vegas on Sunday afternoon.
Again, people say it's a road game, and it is. They got to travel. But if you're going to play on the road anywhere in the National Football League, Las Vegas is the place to go to because it's basically about 40,000 Raider fans, about 20,000 tourists, and about 10,000 of your own fans. So if there is a place to get back on the right track, even if it's a road game, it would be out in Las Vegas against the Raiders. And that's going to be the end of what will be a terrific 4-day stretch. We mentioned Florida, Georgia, the cocktail party on Saturday. And as a result of that, most games in the high school ranks moved up to Thursday. And in fact, you and I will have our season finale of the Thursday Night Lights there on the social media platforms of both Channel 4 and 1010XL this Thursday evening.
Yeah, really good game of the week, too. St. Augustine and Mandarin closing it down for our show. And it's been fun doing that with you this year, Hackers. We kind of take a tour around the area on Friday nights. Had a Creekside coach, Sean McIntyre, join us last week on Zoom talking his season and what they've got ahead. So it's been a fun stretch. I can't believe it's already week 11, and we're talking playoffs, district championships, wrapped up pretty much everything last week. So Thursday night, it's going to be fun. A little bit different day in the week, Hacker, but a lot of good games on Thursday night.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun on Thursday evening. And then with the cocktail party in town for Florida, Georgia, quickly, Justin, the final game in Jacksonville for a couple of years, right? Goes to Atlanta in 26, Tampa in 27. I guess coming back here in 28, right, when the Stadium of the Future is built. Obviously, all the talk about Billy Napier no longer being there, but they will actually play a football game on Saturday. What's a quick thought from you on the cocktail party?
Yeah, always fun. Always fun, man. I love the cocktail party. Going to so many of those games over the years as a fan, and also in the working media, and just such a good neutral site game. The stadium split right down the middle with the Gators and Bulldogs colors, and I would probably have to lean towards Georgia in this one, but you never know. Strange things happen. You see if maybe the Gators rally behind the interim head coach and that staff there. And I know that everybody's on the Lane train in Gainesville, but it'd be crazy if Florida and interim coach Gonzalez can finish things out strong and turn the ship back around.
What do you guys have coming up on Channel 4 this weekend?
Yeah, we're back in action. Jaguars back, so we'll RTL the shows on Friday night. We got our high school football show on Thursday and Friday night this week, so a lot of good stuff coming up. High school, Jaguars, and a little bit of everything.
Justin Barney of Channel 4. Justin, thank you as always. I'll see you over at the Channel 4 studios on Thursday evening.
Take care, Hacker. Thanks for having me.
And thank you to Justin Barney of Channel 4 for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark to talk a little Jaguars and Raiders. Also to take a look at the regular season finale of high school football. That's hard to believe, right? The last game of the regular season comes up for most teams tomorrow. Majority of the games are tomorrow. A few games are on Friday as well. And Justin and I have been a lot of fun this year, really, with the collaboration from Channel 4 and 1010XL on the Friday Night Lights streaming platform. And we will have our final show tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, again, on the social media channels of Channel 4 and 1010XL, as we react to high school games in real time, as a lot of regular seasons here are winding down. So we certainly spent some time on that. Spent some time on the world of college football. Florida, Georgia, now inside of 72 hours away from kickoff down at Everbank Stadium. I was down there earlier today. RV City is rocking. Saw the people down there getting all fired up. Again, the last time it'll be in Jacksonville for a couple of years with that Stadium of the Future being built. So hopefully you guys can make it downtown, have a good time, and hopefully we'll have a competitive game. I know for the better part of the last decade, the games have not been all that competitive here at the Florida-Georgia game. Hopefully, regardless of who you're rooting for, we can have a close fourth quarter ball game that'll have a little intrigue for us on Saturday afternoon. And the Jaguars, we're back at work at the Miller Electric Center. I was down inside the Jaguar locker room earlier today as preparations well underway for their trip to Las Vegas on Sunday. Again, a gigantic game for Jacksonville, who sits at 4-3 on the year, but of course have lost 2 games in a row. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Justin Barney of Channel 4. Thank you to Bill Bender, national college football writer for the Sporting News, talking about Billy Napier and the job opening at Florida, talking about the Brian Kelly dismissal and the job opening at LSU, what that will mean for Lane Kiffin, and talking a little bit about the actual football game that will be played here on Saturday between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. Also, former Jaguar offensive tackle Leon Searcy. You get him every day on Prime Time. You also get him weekly here on Hacker After Dark, and you'll hear Leon, myself, along with the coach, Gerald Ingram, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Raiders go final this Sunday for the 5th quarter here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And as I mentioned, I was down inside the Jaguar locker room earlier today, had one-on-one conversations with defensive back Jordan Lewis and a couple of defensive linemen, both Devon Hamilton and DeJuan Smoot. And we certainly appreciate those 3 guys joining us here this evening on Hacker After Dark. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. Tomorrow night, as I mentioned, big night of high school football around the area because of the Florida-Georgia festivities. So, Hacker After Dark will return on Friday. More on that in a moment. Tomorrow night, I'll be on with Justin Barney social media platforms of both Channel 4 and 1010XL from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, Dylan Denmark and myself will have the radio portion of Friday Night Lights, a Thursday Night Lights edition this week, as we'll be talking to Victoria's head coaches all over Northeast Florida. And we do hope you join us for the regular season finale of the Friday Night Lights program. Again, a special Thursday night edition. Hacker After Dark this week will return on Friday. I'll be with you 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Friday to head into a big football weekend. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us